You can't stop the rain when it starts to. Nah. If you saw the episode, then you know why I'm smiling. Finally, finally, finally. We'll get into it right after this.
Work hard, play hard, grind hard, stay hard. No, we stay out, make your way out. But I just can't stop, won't stop hustling. But I just
BMF Season 1, Episode 8, titled King of Detroit. Oh, man, let's talk about it. Such good stuff, such good stuff. Listen, I'm going to get my full recap first, and then we'll rejoice and celebrate and have a drink together, toast together. I ain't got no drink. I got some peanut. We're going to toast with some peanuts. Anyway, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to my sponsors. Future Trillionaire Clothing. IamTrill.com is the website. Wear something today that your future self will thank you for is the motto. Go there, enter the promo code ABSTRACT when you check out. You get a little something off your order. I got a special going on. $15 grinders and grindette hoodies. You can get shirts for like $10. Support the channel. It's also a thanks button down below. I believe it's right down there somewhere. $2, $5, whatever you can. Helps the channel, helps me keep going, and helps me keep giving you this great content, these great reviews. No, let's get into this episode. Starts off with we see Kato smiling, and I'm like, what the hell she's smiling for? And I'm like, she must have got some D from B Mickey, because that's the only reason she could be smiling. But she's going to meet up with Lamar. And this dude walk around a corner with a foot still leaking. He got a puddle of blood. I'm like, yo, nigga, how is you still alive? Ain't no way. That's how you know this TV, because this nigga would have been bled out by then. I'm like, yo, ain't no way this dude's still alive. Anyway, she meet up with him and tells him that Meechinham is going to somewhere, whatever. It was a setup, though. You see Big Mickey in the distance. He's following him. I'm like, oh, Mick got the drop on him. He about to get him. And sure enough, Mick's on his ass. And I was like, this ain't going to go good. I don't know. I don't know if he's planning on pulling up to him at the light and just blaming him. You know what I mean? That probably would have been the best way to do it. Or what he was going to do. I don't know. But I know B. Mickey got this old-ass gun that he should be getting rid of, but he's still carrying around. And we knew earlier in the season that this gun was going to come back to bite him. We just didn't know how. But sure enough, we see he gets pulled over. And then you see that everybody from BMF, they doing the whole sweep. Everybody's getting pulled over. And they busting everybody. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Then I remember last episode, because it's been a while. Because I didn't watch it last week. I watched it the week before because it got leaked that they fucking actually happened to... They killed Detective Lopez. So I'm like, okay, they must be bringing him in for this sweep. And sure enough, they were. And it was crazy to see all of them at the fucking police station together and shit. And they all rowdy and shit. They all in the cell. And the first person that comes up to mind is Kato. And then you see Big Mickey's unsureness. And that's why I tell y'all, Meech is smart, man. Meech is always paying attention to detail. And yeah, he's obnoxious at times and he's self-centered and all these things, but he's definitely smart and he pays attention to what's going on. So they thinking it's Kato. And sure enough, you see Kato walks by though. Well, they're like, well, at least we know she ain't no rat. I'm thinking in my head, like, shit, little do y'all know. We see Meech in the cell talking to Detective I forget her name, Puerto Rican chick. And she's giving Meech the third degree. And he's just flirting with her and shit, just being Meech. You know what I'm saying? Confidence ain't broken, ain't just, he know it's bullshit. They ain't really got nothing on him. They just trying to rattle him and see who gonna fold or break. And that's what I got from it too. Cause I'm like, yo, they ain't got no evidence. It wasn't forensics and shit back then. But if they were smart and be making smart later on, well, we'll get to that. But anyway, Meech makes a call and have his boy dress up like a sanitation worker. It's not even his boy. It's the neighbor that lived across the street from them in the one episode. I think he already had worked at the parks. So he had them go get their work because they threw all their work or whatnot, and they had a stash and stuff. And that was the thing. When the police caught them, they didn't find anything on them, so they had to kick all of them. And then y'all love the scene when Detective Howard talking to the cop, and she kind of like put him on desk duty. She assigns everybody to kind of just keep pressure on them as well. But then y'all love the fact when they walked by and they was all just super loud. I'm like, yo, this is hilarious right now. They was just laughing and like, ha ha ha, you ain't gotta. I see, yo, these dudes is crazy right now, man. I loved that scene. That was a dope scene, man. They had a whole crew there. You got Lil Zane there. You got I like that crew, man. They got a solid crew. Back at the lawyer's office, we see that they came up with a better settlement for Terry, which is a whopping 150,000. That's what it comes to after lawyer fees. But it was 250,000, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then after the lawyer fee, so damn, she got 100,000. Damn, she did a hell of it. She did do a good job though. But the doctor was drunk. The nurse wrote a deposition, and the doctor was drunk when he operated on Terry. That's crazy. That's crazy. So the hospital wound up settling, and I thought when they showed the number, I thought it was gonna be like 1 million or something, or at least a 500,000. I don't know. I just feel like you should get more for your eye. Like I just feel like you should be getting a little bit more. But hey, back then, 250 or 150,000. Shit, even today, that's nothing to frown about. But I just feel like a hospital, they should have got more, like a 500,000 or something. You know what I'm saying? But she don't want to press the issue, so they wind up taking it. Yeah, and then the next scene was actually the scene where they walk out the police station. That was crazy. And you see Detective Brian with that smug smoking a cigarette. Like, why he smoking cigarettes like weed? Yeah, I swear, every show they make him out to be the bad guy. Every movie he in, Steve Harris, they just make him out to be the bad guy. But I like when him and Meech just had that stare down. And Meech was like, you rat bastard, you. Cause dude ain't had to take this route, but they gonna take it there. We see Meech in the car with Kato. They have a discussion, and Meech is kind of giving her props, telling her she a loyal soldier, just trying to get some background on her. That's what he's really doing. So he's talking to her, giving her praises so she can open up, and then he's really trying to just get some dirt on her, a background story, because we saw obviously later on in the show he asked around about who her pops really was, and he found out eventually like who her pops was and shit. But yeah, I mean, that's what I tell you. Meech is smart, man. He really I'm people give him a lot of flack, but he really pay attention, man. He knows how to execute a plan thoroughly. He did what he was supposed to do as a leader. We see Lamar went up to we see why he's in the car with Kato. He gets a beat or a page, and they see that they got the drop on Lamar. Lamar is in a vet or a mortuary getting sold up by none other than Donnell Rawlins, and this dude is fucking hilarious, man. Listen, I done seen Donnell Rawlins live probably about 20 times. Every time he come to Buffalo, I see this dude. He's funny. Not one of my favorite stand-ups, just his comedy style. But he's funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got comedy styles I prefer. I like animated comedians like JB Smoove, Tony Roberts. That's just what I prefer. But that doesn't take away the fact he's funny. You know what I'm saying? He's hilarious. But yo, he was talking about banging the fucking dead people. I said, yo, this dude. He like, yo, Lamar, like that was a great scene between the two. Lamar like, yo, how come none of these people clothed and something? He like, man, you see those titties right there? Yo, I was crying, dude. I was crying. And initially, I thought Donnell Rawlins' characters is the one that set him up, but you find out it was some young boy who saw his car and got the drop on him. I think is that the little boy that got beat up a couple of episodes ago? He did a good job. Sure enough, they look inside, they see the blood fresh on the seat. They go in there, dude. That scene was raw. Like the way they shot that, they just looked at raw as hell coming in there. They all come in the door, and I saw that still somewhere a couple of weeks ago. I saw the still where they was just all standing there at the joint. They all had their guns. I'm like, yo, this is fucking sick right here, man. I liked that scene. That was dope. When that door opened up and they all just standing there ready, that's good shit right there, man. Uh, we see them searching for everything. And we see Donnell Rollins is trying to lube up the fucking corpse. He about to get it in. They like, yo, you was sick as hell. They're like, yo, you sick. Anyway, they looking for Lamar. He tells him before I go, I need something else. So we don't know what it is. I'm thinking he about to hide in one of the caskets. So they go search all the caskets. This dude done took one of the hearses out, left his car there. So that's how he wound up. You just see him driving with the hearse. Yeah, he was like, "Yo, you got any payments?" He like, "Does it look like you got it? Raise your hand if anybody takes payment." Donnell Rollins killed that shit, man. Shout out to Donnell Rollins. We see back at the house, um, fucking Meech's dad he wants obviously he wants some money. I can't stand this dude. I can't stand him. He wants to take Terry's money and open up a car service business. Bro, it's not your money. You didn't want to take none of the son. You didn't want to take the money before, right? Why are you taking the money now? Why you feel you obligated to this money? You didn't get shot in the eye. You didn't, if you're so against drug money, your son getting shot is a result possibly of drug money. It's the same thing. It's still drug money. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the wife finds the flyer and see what he wants to do, and he's all in it. I'm like, dude, this corny as hell, man. I can't stand him. He should have went. He should have been the third person to go. But we'll get into it. We see the 50 boys celebrating afterwards at the record store. B Kato trying to play it off like they ain't fuck with each other, but Meat's peeping everything. We see that they all go in the back to count the money. Kato take them. We see B Mickey and Meech, having a conversation about how to get what's his face transfer back. We see that Terry is signing the check or signing to get his money, and they tell him that he cannot take the money until he's 18. And I'm like, oh, that's crazy. So he got to put it in a trust fund. And that's normally how stuff like this goes. And I keep forgetting how fucking young these dudes is, man. And somebody made a meme and said, y'all fail to realize Lamar is 35 years old beefing with a 16 and a 17-year-old. I was like, yo, that's true, though. This nigga grown as hell beefing with these little niggas, man. He out of control with that, man. He out of control. Let me fix this cord, man. He is out of control. I forgot what meme that was. That was funny, though. But yeah, he's visibly frustrated. The pop says he walks out. I'm like, dude, it's not even your money. Like, what are you mad about? But they said that one of the stipulations is if they do need it for something, the parents could grant the permission for that. The pops apologized. I just want to say apologize to you. Dude, he just need to get beat up. They hatch a plan to start selling work or drugs on the east side on somebody else's territory, just to kind of see who's running the operation and set up a meet with them. So obviously they stage their people in the store. They got the fiends coming in there, and then you see a car pull up, and they come in there about to wreck shop, and it's none other than my boy DC Young Fly. I'm like, oh, look at my boy. My boy didn't even tell me he was in here, man. Listen, I met DC a couple of times, man. We talk on Instagram. That's my guy, man. He's a funny dude, real stand-up dude. But listen, he did a hell of a job. And they let DC be DC. That's what I like. He went in there and just ribbing on people. If you don't get your Billy D. Williams looking ass out the way. I was like, yeah, okay, they pulling all the stops last episode. We seeing more and more celebrity guest appearances and shit. I fucks with it, man. Shout out to DC getting his bread. Anyway, Meech comes in there. He's diplomatic. He's like, yo, I don't need you to see your boss. Meech already knows who the boss is, but he's just trying to, he don't want to come direct. He's just going about it in a roundabout way. And sure enough, we went to meet him, and we find out the boss is actually somebody who was in the season earlier that was flirting with Terry, actually. His girlfriend was flirting with Terry, and she fine, too, by the way. But they wind up coming to this I guess, the little gambling spot they go to, Meech and Terry, and they wind up meeting with Cuz. I forget his name. I forget, but he was at Pat's party in the one episode. Dude that had the furs and shit. And they wind up talking business, and Meech Meech obviously got a proposition for him because they got to get their weight off, because the police is on them, so they got to try to move their shit over there. So he promises them 5 bricks, and he asks about Lamar during that whole discussion, and he finds out Kato's dad wasn't part of the crew that Kato said. He was actually part of this other crew, which was the crew Lamar was down with. So that was pretty much the whole purpose of the conversation. But dude is very wary of Meech. He's very standoffish with Meech, you see, and he don't like the way Meech went about getting to meet with him. He just took a roundabout way. He didn't respect that at all. Um, so hey, what can you do? It is what it is. Meech had to do what he had to do. Uh, and dude stay fly, man. Every time they show him, he got that's that Detroit player shit I was talking about with the furs and all that shit. Listen, B Mick live in a little ass shack too. I just they did a close up of his house. I'm like, yo, this dude live in a garage or some shit. Uh, Garage connected to the house, or maybe it's separate. I don't know how, but we see Kato go over there. And the first thing she do is kick those shoes off, man. She want to get done up and run up. And B Mickey, he's so in love and open. I'm like, dude, if you don't get rid of this girl, she gonna get you all kinds of jammed up. But them mugs is in love, man. You could tell they is. Yeah, but hey, I mean, Kato, she a cool girl, but just you can't play both sides of the field. You get what I'm saying? We see Meech, or not Meech. We see Terry and the folks go and look at this car service. He finally springs it up on Terry, and he's like, "Yo, this could be a long lasting business." And he has a plan where the wife could quit the job and kind of work this and incorporate it. And he's like, "Yeah, man." He make $85 a day after he pays his driver or some shit. He said, "I'm like, $85 a day. The fuck is that?" Terry like, man, that's 100 and something. He calculated though. I guess it wind up being like actual good amount of money. But I'm like, then you gotta think of the time. So I guess it was good for that times. But I'm like, I make more than that in a fucking hour. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But anyway, we see Meech at this car spot. He's going to get a stash put in. I guess dude put in a stash. While he's there, he wants to meet and beat Mick, and they set up a plan to get Lamar. But this was actually Meech's he was testing B Mick to see where his loyalty was. Asked him about Kato again. He wanted to see if B Mick would come clean, and he did. He finally came clean and said, "Yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. She working for Lamar. We actually was trying to figure out a way to kind of get him on our own." And he was just like, "Yo, what you would have did if I ain't tell you?" And Meech just looked at him like, "Nigga, you already know what would have happened." So right then and there, B Mick realizes he has to make a choice. I think right then and there he realized like he knew what he had to do, and it was gonna hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Because you could tell he really loved that girl, but at that point it's either him or her. Obviously, he gonna choose himself. So they come up with a plan that has to get Lamar, but he like, yo, Lamar gonna see that coming a mile away. But he's like, maybe that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? So they intentionally uh, set this plan to where it looks like they set up Lamar, but they know he gonna go somewhere else, and then that's when they really gonna get him. But anyway, we see Meech talking to Terry, and he comes up with the name. Finally, comes up with the name Black Mafia Family. Because early in the episode, somebody was like, "Yo, we should call ourselves the Family," and they're like, "Oh, that sound all right." But Meech finally puts it together. He's like Black Mafia Family, and Terry's like, man, that shit sound, man, nah, I can't lie. That shit tough, bro. That shit tough. Nice little exchange between the brothers, man. That's Terry, always the businessman, counting some money behind the scenes, thinking of some shit. And Meech is trying to set up he wants to come and meet the plug, L, but obviously Terry's objective to it because she don't like Meech. She don't like Meech at all. But he agrees because they need some more product. Terry don't really want to ask. He want Meech to ask. And so he agrees to take him. And when he said it, I'm like, this ain't going to go good at all. Then in the night, we see them back at the shop where he got the stash box put in. And we see Lamar crippled ass looking around the corner like, and I can't talk about crippled. My ankle fucked up still. And I'm talking about somebody being crippled. Sorry. Sorry for all the handicapped people out there. But yeah, we see them looking around the corner, and I'm like, uh oh. So he like, man, this bitch set me up. I'm like, I'm like, yo, is this supposed to happen? Like, what's going on? We see Kato at the bar. Next thing you know, we see my graphic guy just said, dude. Anyway, we see Kato at the bar. Lamar puts the pistol to her, grabs her out, and he pretty much kidnapping her. Like, yo, you want to play with me? Like, you run away, I'll blow your brains out in front of all these people. You think you? Next thing you know, we see Meech. He got the drop on him, and then he put the gun to Kato head. Like, yeah, I'll kill her. And Meech's like, yo, you think I give a fuck about a rat? I was like, yes. And then you see B Mick come out, and I was like, oh, this is really going down. He decided, he chose, he made his decision. He drew his line in the sand right then and there. I told you at that shop. And we see them staring, and I didn't know what the hell was going on with it. I was like, is Lamar gonna wiggle out of this? And he pointed his gun and try to he aimed it at Meech. Meech shot his ass. I was like, yeah. Meech finally put in some damn work. I've been saying it for how long? How long I've been saying that Meech ain't putting no real work in? And he put his work in. He was just standing over Lamar. Lamar gushing out. And he said, yeah, I'm gonna ask you, did you shoot my brother? And Lamar spitting out blood. You're like, man, like this nigga trying to gasp for air. And he just like, I'm gonna just watch you bleed out. I'm gonna just watch you and shit. I'm like, damn, this is the end of an era, man. Can we get a moment of silence for Lamar? Lamar is my favorite character. I'm sorry. A lot of people don't like Lamar. He was that boy though, man. He was my guy, man. Great actor. Will be missed sincerely on the show. I wish somehow his character could have got expanded to season 2. Or I don't know, maybe he could have joined the squad, but I know that's not doable. He just did too much fuck shit. But all in all, I'm gonna miss Lamar, man. You can't stop the rain. Got his water turned off though. Then we see B Mickey look for Kato, because I was like, what the hell gonna happen to Kato? And she ducking behind a car, and you just see B Mick pull up on her, and she just like she puts her guy hands up, and then she put him down, and she's like, I love you. Bow. And he shots her. I'm like, oh, I definitely didn't see that coming. I had no idea they was gonna kill Kato off. I thought they was just gonna let her rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know she was on some betrayal shit, but I thought they was just gonna be like, you know what? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just thought, but man, he turned her water off. He shot her right in the head. Dome piece. Done. Kato is no more, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I said it. Kato is out of here. 2 characters everybody hated the most, Lamar and Kato, are gone. All we need is the dad to be out of there, and we be good. We got a great season 2. Uh, next day we see B Mick drinking at the kitchen table at Meech's mom house, and I'm like, why is they here doing this? Meech probably took him there just so he could get out of trouble, or just wouldn't be by himself. But he's fucked up over Kato, man. And him and Meech get into a little spat, like, man, fuck you. She the only girl I ever loved. And Meech like, man, sometimes you gotta pull a band-aid and you gotta pull a band-aid off and deal with the pain. Versus just holding on to it or some shit he said. And I'm like, damn, he really fucked up. Not only did he lose the girl he loved, like she's gone. It ain't like she broke up with him and left him and he could still see her. Like she's off the face of the earth. She no longer exists. Like her life is gone. So and you did it. Like you gotta live with that. You gotta fucking live with the fact you killed the girl you love. Just behind this shit, man. Shit crazy. But at the same time, Kato shouldn't have been playing both sides. She was rocking with Meech and them. She should have told him like, yo. Or just fucking moved. I don't know. Something else she could have did to be if she wanted to be alive, but she wasn't really the smartest person. We see Meech get into it with his mom, and she like, oh, I see your guards ain't watching our house no more. What's going on? And Meech like, man, I protected the family. I did. And the mom, dude, they do not like fucking Meech, man. He was like, yo, it ain't on you. He's like, I'm still your firstborn. Like, he just putting lugs with her. Where's the sister at? I didn't see the sister the whole episode. What's her name? Nikki. Yeah, y'all was in the comments talking shit. And the one dude was, I forget the dude name. Post a comment, oh, this the worst review ever, because I forgot the sister name. Suck my You know what? But anyway, uh, we see next day they meet up with the connect. Meech is in there touching shit like a little kid. Terry like, yo, put that down. Stop touching stuff. Uh, L walks up. She like, yo, that costs $250,000. What you got in your hand? If you drop it, you gonna pay for it or some shit. And she's like, could you put it down now? And then Meech trying to make a proposition to her, telling her what it is. And she like, oh, I don't do business with you. And he keep talking. Man, she pulled that pistol out. Her dudes pulled the pistol out. Them Secret Service looking niggas. They about to pop Meech ass, dude. I'm like, she ruthless, man. I don't like her. But I understand. I understand where she coming from. She just want to do business with Terry. Terry, he not like that. He low key. Meech is flashy. Uh, she just, I don't know. That's just how she choose. But I thought she was gonna ruin the whole thing. But they wind up taking no more keys. They wanted 10 keys versus the 5. And Meech made that proposition, and he made it happen. Lo and behold, he really did. She wound up giving it to him. But she was just like, yo, if you respect our arrangement, don't do nothing like that again. Follow our rules. And Terry just like, all right. But I don't know. I think she liked Terry. She got a crush on Terry. We see B Mickey driving, speeding, going nowhere fast, reminiscing about his boot thing. And I could just hear him in his head listening to Shaka Khan. Oh, sweet thing. Don't you know you're my everything? I could hear him. I could hear him playing that. I wish you were my lover, but you act so undercover. She's gone, B Mick. Get over. He's speeding, gets pulled over by Detective Bryant. Detective Bryant takes him in the station, hems him up, and I knew this little dumb nigga was gonna have his gun on him, and sure enough, he did. He put it in the stash spot. They discovered it. He's getting interrogated, and fucking Howard tells him like, "Listen, I know this gun is tied to such and such. The forensic came back, but yo, I could lose this on the way to evidence if." And I think Detective Brian is probably lying because there's no way that could come back that fast. But I think he's bluffing. But he's telling B Mick that he just wants meat, so he wants him to kind of, I don't know what he want him to do. You want him to squeal on him or like there's really nothing you can do. But what I was gonna say earlier that I didn't want to get into it. If B Mick was smart, he could be like, "Lo, I know the person who killed. I know who killed the cop. It was the girl, and she's not here no more. You know what I'm saying? He could. I mean, it's not snitching. She not alive no more. So, and she was the one that did it. So, I don't know. They might not believe it, but shit, he make it believable. Yo, I know who did it. Yada yada. She passed away. We see that Meech and Terry meet up, and Terry is like, "Yo, I'm done." Meech made a chain from a BMF joint, which looked fake as hell. It was a charm, and he's telling Meech like, "Yo, listen, I'm done with this shit. I don't want to do this shit." You know what I'm saying? What's the name? Wind up giving them the keys, and actually, no, this was a different part. But she wound up giving him the keys, and he was arguing with him like, "Yo, I forget what the fuck he was arguing about. It don't matter." Next scene though, we see them at the house, and we see that he was just arguing with him about the fact like he had no remorse about the Lamar shit, cause Meech really don't. Meech is self-centered, but he was just like, "Yo, you don't feel nothing about that?" Like he was like, "Yo, Lamar gone," and he was like, "Yo, you not about to rain on my parade." That's what he was saying. Like, you not gonna rain on my parade, blah blah blah. Lamar's gone. We about to celebrate tonight. And Meech don't got no conscience, man. That's when I realized I'm like, yo, he really don't got no conscience, cause he just like he don't care. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, lo and behold, he really didn't. And he speed off. We see at the house later, Terry's baby mom decides to leave. She's taking the baby. She's like, I'm going out of town for a little bit. And Terry like, shit, no the fuck you not. And he's about to get in her face. The dad's punk ass stop him, and she winds up going. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You supposed to be a ride or die? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And sure enough, she left, man. And I liked her too, man. She gonna leave. Cute ass. So yeah. After that, we see Meech and Terry meet up again. And Meech is telling him, or Terry's telling Meech he wants out of the game. That's when Meech made the chime for him. Sorry, I got scenes messed up. I'm watching it as I go, but I mix the scenes up. But anyway, they might up meeting up, and he tells him that he's done. And Meech is like, yo, man, this all you know how to do, man. You a hustler. He was like, yo, you ain't gonna do nothing. You gonna stop doing something you good at and to start something that you're not good at, because he told him I guess he gonna start the family business with them. And Meech's like, yo, you dumb. Like, what are you talking about? And Terry just like, yo, I'm done with it. But you gotta think Terry just lost his kid. He got shot. He took a lot of L's due to this drug shit. We still don't know who shot Terry. We could suspect it was Lamar. I guess that's what the show is trying to portray, that maybe it was Lamar, but I think that's just one of the mysteries we won't know, because if you look up the story in real life, it wasn't really known who shot him. They said apparently it was another guy in Detroit named Southwest T that Terry took the name from. They said the real or the original Southwest T didn't like the fact that this one was getting more popular and shot him. That was a story going around, but nobody really knows. You know what I'm saying? Only person that probably knows is Terry, and he decided not to say nothing. But anyway, as he's walking away, Meech is like, "Yo, you gonna walk away from me? You gonna walk away from your brother? You gonna walk away?" I'm like, "Man, clearly he's walking away. He's out of here. He's gone." All in all, listen, great season, great episode. I really liked it. I know a lot of people gonna be like, "Oh, it's corny because it wasn't no crazy shootout scene between." Nah, that's not how shit work in the street. It ain't no crazy uh, shootout scene like in the movie Heat, where it's just big ass shootout. And nope, they hashed the plan, they executed it, and they got him the fuck out of here. They killed two birds with one stone. And great episode. I couldn't ask you nothing. At the end of the episode, we see bigger Meech, older Meech, 2005 Meech sitting in the cell with a bad wig on. And I'm guessing next season maybe they're gonna dive into that. But I hope they stay still in Detroit. I don't want them to move on just yet. I don't, because I love these characters. You know what I'm saying? I love the characters we just met, and so I think it will stay here in Detroit. It's a lot to go. We still got the night. You got to think they didn't migrate to Atlanta and shit to later, like later. So this definitely maybe they'll jump back and forth, but I think it should still be rooted and rounded in Detroit. That way they can have seasons and seasons to go on. Like I said, great season. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm gonna miss the show. We got Power next, the Tariq version, which I really don't care for, but hopefully it got better this season. So I'll be doing reviews on that. Post your comments below. Let me know if you like this review. Give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe and the notification bell if you do. My video work hard is out. That's the song that plays at the beginning. The best thing you could do for me is stream it if you like it, or share it, or go comment on it. And I appreciate all the support. Peace.